Krishna, everyone. Nice to see you. Thank you for being with us. In a minute, we're going to have Bhagavad Gita class. And these two are going to help me, first of all, with the kirtan. Please join in and encourage them so they feel comfortable. They're going to make a small offering to Radha Gokulananda. Okay, ready? Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. You can sing this one. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine. Go and sing. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Na Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I think, yeah, we can carry on. But thank you both. So this is Aryan and Vani on the kartal and Aryan on the mridanga. Didn't they do amazingly? Yeah. Thank you both. Thank you. So, in a minute, we're going to be talking about the Bhagavad Gita. So, you all know what the Bhagavad Gita is, right? Yeah? Great. And who's got a copy of Bhagavad Gita? Everyone? No? If you don't, you can get one for reception. But we're going to be speaking about chapter 2, verse 9 in a minute. So if you don't have your copy, you can follow the verse on the board. And basically, it's just the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is starting. Well, Krishna hasn't really said anything, and he's been introduced. And Arjuna has been introduced, and the hero of the story. Who's the hero of our story in the Bhagavad Gita? Who's the hero? Krishna. And what about Arjuna? He's a hero too, right? He's a hero too. So we have two heroes. Normally in a story, you have one hero, one like the arch enemy, like a dangerous person. But in this case, we have two heroes. And whilst Arjuna is a hero, but he's also going to be a person or damsel that's going to be rescued. Because in a minute, we'll find out how Arjuna is having a crisis. He's stuck. He's not able to make a decision, and he needs someone to rescue him, right? How many of us have that situation in life, you know? Like, I'm going to give up everything. I can't do this anymore. I give up. I need a way out. Someone just do something. Someone rescue me, right? Sometimes that happens. You get frustrated and you think, I don't want to do this anymore. Someone just take me out of here. And whilst this is Arjuna, he's an amazing person, right? He's an eternal associate of Krishna. He's not a normal person. And but still, he's doing this for our sake, because a lot of us have those kind of crises in our life, right? That we just don't know what's going to happen next, and we just don't have the faith to carry on. And luckily, Krishna is there for him, and Krishna is here for us. So I'm just going to invoke some blessings. You can recite the mantra with me, or you can just meditate. And we'll invoke the blessings of Prabhupada and Acharyas. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 So, yeah, as I said, Bhagavad Gita, we're going to be talking about chapter 2, but Bhagavad Gita is the song of God. It's Krishna's poetic speech. The reason why it's a poem is because when something is sung, when music is added or rhythm is added, then it becomes more beautiful. Not that Krishna needs anything else, but he's poetic, and that's why because it's all so like everything in Bhagavad Gita is meant to attract you, is meant to capture your mind, your heart, your spirit. And one of the ways that Krishna does that is by his beautiful words, by the beautiful poetry that's within. Have you ever noticed how Sanskrit is such a beautiful, in-depth, highly just like there's so many different words. We'll talk about like how even the different names of Krishna is like amazing, and it's just meant to capture your imagination, meant to capture your heart. And that's why everything about the Bhagavad Gita is amazing, like starting with the poetic language and philosophical wisdom that's within the Bhagavad Gita, and with the poetic speech and philosophical discussion, Krishna rescues Arjuna from the doubts that he's facing. And Arjuna, who's in crisis amongst the greatest war that we know of, how he manages to rescue Arjuna. So the first chapter begins with Dhritarashtra's words. This is a story mainly we know of about Krishna and Arjuna, right? So why does Dhritarashtra begin? You have to wonder, like, I thought the first words would be from Krishna, but this is a reminder that actually the discussion that's taking place here is part of a greater story, which is Mahabharata, right? And there's a whole other story linked with Bhagavad Gita, right? Yeah, we've all seen the Mahabharata, the one that we saw as children, right? Everyone's seen it, and I've seen it on repeat as well. But yeah, it's part of a bigger story, and it's got many characters. The reason why that is because when you have a story and there's like life behind, there's characters, like there's interesting characters, then it kind of attracts you even more. Then you become like, you hone in on like, oh, what's going on here? What's going to happen next? You become addicted to the story. So that's why it makes it interesting. It makes it more elaborate, and the characters kind of capture your imagination. In this story, the hero is Krishna, but it appears that he has taken a humble position, right? He's the charioteer. And does everyone know what's involved in being a charioteer? So Krishna is pulling the cart with the horses. And Krishna has to take instructions from Arjuna. I want to go left, I want to go right. And when Arjuna sends instructions, he has to kick the charioteer. So can you imagine being kicked? I wouldn't like it, but Krishna takes it because he's our ever well-wisher. He's Arjuna's ever well-wisher, and he's there guiding Arjuna. Even though he has to take a humble position, he has to be kicked every time Arjuna wants to turn left or right. So Arjuna, in the beginning, arrives on the battlefield. He kind of takes a look around, and he sees that, oh my God, all of my relatives are here. My cousins are here. My teacher's here. My uncle is here, Bhishma Pitama, his teacher, Dronacharya, he's there. And he suddenly realizes that he's going to have to pick up the bow, and it's very likely that he's going to probably kill someone, right? Because he's a great warrior. He's an amazing warrior. So he's not in any illusion. He's about to kill many of his relatives. And then in the middle of the battlefield, he asks Krishna, take me in the middle of the war zone. So he draws the chariot in the middle. Whilst everyone is fighting, Arjuna says, I'm going to drop my Gandiva bow. I'm not doing this. I've had enough. And then he gives some reasons for why he doesn't want to fight. And he says to Krishna, I surrender. Right. I've done all the talking that I needed to. Now I give up, and my life is in your hands. He says, Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava pichami tvam dharma samuda chetaha yashreya sannishitam bruhitan me shishyaste ham sadimam tvam prapannam. So he says, I'm now your disciple. I'm a soul surrendered onto you. You guide me. You tell me what to do, because I don't know. My mind is perplexed. and he goes silent. He goes silent. This is probably the best thing you can do, right? When your mind is like going crazy and you've lost your ability to think properly, then I kind of do this. I go silent because I think, right, you need to think. And that's probably the best thing you can do. Some people, carry on maybe talking or like venting, right? Venting. Does that help? No, because then that energy kind of still consumes you, right? And in order to take instructions, you have to listen. You have to listen. You can't hear the other person if you're talking. So many of us probably do a lot of talking and not enough of listening, because we want. It's just a selfish nature, I guess, we have, and so he goes silent, and that's when he says this. No, he doesn't say this. This is the verse that Sanjaya speaks. So you can, the verse is on the board, and you can follow me. If you could repeat. Sanjaya uvacha, Sanjaya uvacha, evam uktva rishikesham, evam ukta rishikesham, gudakesha purantapaha, nayotya iti govindam, uktva tushnim bhubhavaha. Thank you. So the translation of this verse is, Sanjaya said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastiser of the enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. And the purport by Srila Prabhupada is, Dhritarashtra must have been very glad to understand that Arjuna was not going to fight and was instead leaving the battlefield for the begging profession. But Sanjaya disappointed him again. In relation to that, Arjuna was competent to kill his enemies. Parantapaha. Although Arjuna was, for the time being, overwhelmed with false grief due to family affection, he surrendered unto Krishna, the Supreme Spiritual Master, as a disciple. This indicated that he would soon be free from false lamentation resulting from family affection, and would be enlightened with perfect knowledge of self-realization or Krishna consciousness, and would then surely fight. Thus, Dhritarashtra's joy would be frustrated, since Arjuna would be enlightened by Krishna and would fight to the end. So, in this verse, Sanjaya is relaying all that's happening on the battlefield. And Prabhupada is explaining here that So going back, to one second. Let me just grab my notes. So going back to verse 2.9, where Arjuna is surrendering onto Krishna as a disciple. We all need to do this, because in life, sometimes we can be lost, and you will all need a spiritual master, someone that can guide you and direct you in life. And Prabhupada explains that all of us have taken many millions of births before we finally take a birth in human form of life. We all have been traveling through 8.4 billion species of life, right from the animal from the insects and the animal species. So we carry many millions of impressions from our previous births. And as we gradually take birth from insects, animal forms, and finally then human form of life, despite being human, our consciousness at birth is still covered by ignorance, similarly to that of an animal, right? Driven by instincts and aware of higher truths. So human form of life is special because it offers the chance for spiritual education and self-realization, right? Unlike animals, humans can ask questions, we can reflect, we can think, and change our destiny if we turn towards Krishna, if we can, because to some extent our karmas kind of bind us, and it when we're born, everything is predetermined from the number of breaths you're going to take, how many years you're going to live, from the type of body you're going to have. It all depends on our previous desires, what we've done in our past life. Our actions determine what form of life or what kind of body we will take in your future life. The animals cannot take education, but human being can take education, right? We have the intellect to be able to assimilate complex information, and animals don't have that. They don't have that ability. This emphasizes the human life. Only humans have the capacity of learning higher truths and achieving liberation. And that's why it's so special, but some people are not aware of that fact, and you can waste your life by not taking advantage of spiritual life. Thus, Guru's role becomes essential to awaken the disciple from ignorance. He's the only, not he, but a spiritual master is the only one that can kind of take us out of this material existence. It's like all of us are drowning in the ocean of material existence, and we need someone who's situated firmly on the ground and say, like, here's my hand, take it, I'll take you out. Because if we don't take shelter, if we don't take guidance of a spiritual person, then it's likely that our minds are thinking, the way we want to behave, what we want to do is going to make us or stray us from what's actually important in life. Even children, right? I have 2 children, I have 2 boys, and I'm constantly telling them, do this, because all they want to do is eat, sleep, and play. That's what they want to do right now, thankfully. So I have to tell them, do your homework, go to bed, wake up early, have these things we need to be told. Otherwise, we will do what we think is right, and what we think may not necessarily be right, isn't it? So this is our textbook. This is our manual for life, and this is Krishna speaking to us directly. In the lower human being condition, animal life is subhuman form. The Vedic philosophy, in the Vedic philosophy, the soul evolves through various species. These are called lower forms of life because they lack the capacity for spiritual inquiry. So they can't really ask, like, what can I do to get out of this material world? But we can, and we should take the advantage whilst we can. And all of us have to work really hard, right? We all have to go to work. We all have to try and get a mortgage, which is really hard right now. And we also have to feed ourselves. These are known as basic animal propensities, like eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. In animal life, the entire existence revolves around these things, these aspects, with no higher purpose. And sense gratification is like the main goal in life for most people, for animals and many humans as well. Living without higher knowledge, the goal of life is simply to enjoy the senses. This includes pleasures of taste, touch, and sight. Therefore, everyone has to work very hard, because once you get hooked on material life, then there's no end, because your senses will keep wanting you to give them the next thing that will arouse them. And we have that first-hand experience, right? We all have the mobile phones. And have you ever, like now we have reels where you can just flick. And I was speaking to one of my friends. One of her daughters, she's got a phone. She's about 14, I think. And she says that, like, I'm good all week, but on the weekends I get to stay up late and just like go on the phone until I want to go to sleep. And I'm like, oh, interesting. How long do you stay awake for? She said 2 o'clock in the morning, because like the phone, the reels are, they have algorithms, right? So it kind of catches on to what you like, what you don't like, how much time you're spending watching one reel, and like it hones in on, like it's like, that spy that's following you around. They really know what you like, and they know how to hook you. So they'll keep giving you, feeding you that that sort of entertainment. And that's why she's on the phone until 2 o'clock in the morning. And there's no end to it, because you can just keep going. Jai Jai Shri Radha Gokulananda ki Jai, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki Jai, Gaur Nitai ki Jai. And yeah, that's how basically Maya Devi is as well. She knows what you like, and she'll keep enticing the senses, and she'll say, yeah, let me stay on the phone a little bit longer. Let me go shopping, or let me spend some more money so I'll feel good. But you never really feel good. You might feel happy, but the difference between happiness and bliss is completely different. Have you ever felt bliss before? Do you, like, what's the definition of bliss and happiness? Hare Krishna. Happiness is temporary, yeah, and bliss is something that awakens your soul. It makes you radiate within. Sometimes when you have temporary happiness, you'll feel good for a little while, and then the next day it will really hit you, right? So like that can maybe that can be achieved with drugs, alcohol, something like that. But bliss is something that comes within, and is it lights up, it radiates your soul, and charges you. Yeah, sometimes people say that when they come to the temple, they maybe take advantage of one of the courses, or listen to somebody highly spiritual. They get recharged. They get some spiritual energy that they can do something positive with. Whereas if you get recharged by the wrong thing, like alcohol, drugs, or maybe even like food in the mode of ignorance, then the next day you're just gonna feel rubbish. You're gonna feel even worse. So that's what the difference is between happiness and bliss. In summary, while animals, less evolved beings, work hard for basic sense gratification, human life is a chance to rise before this cycle of birth and death. Krishna gives us intelligence. Why? So that we can make a choice for our eternal good, for our greater good. the opportunity not just to enjoy but to seek truth, attain spiritual knowledge, and ultimately become free from material struggle. I haven't really got to the verse, but yeah, so let's do that. So the verse here, like I read, Sanjaya said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastiser of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. So Sanjaya is relaying everything that's happening on the battlefield because he had the vision where he could see anything anywhere, and Dhritarashtra was blind, so he was telling Dhritarashtra the whole story. And when Dhritarashtra heard that Arjuna's put his bow down and he's not going to fight, Dhritarashtra became happy. He thought, oh great, he became joyous, and he thought that, okay, my children, my kids are going to get the kingdom, and maybe they won't die. So he became joyous. But Sanjay, he was a very loyal servant of Dhritarashtra, and he wanted to be loyal to Dhritarashtra and didn't want him to misleadingly think that, okay, there's a chance that my kids are going to get the kingdom and they're going to win, because this is Krishna and Arjuna we're talking about, right? And in this verse, Sanjaya is using the name Rishikesha for Krishna. Rishikesha means the master of senses. And for Arjuna, he's using Gudikesha, which means the master of curbing ignorance. When the ignorance is when, like, you're overwhelmed by tamas and you can't think, you're just clouded by ignorance, and your ability to think straight has gone. But Arjuna is Gudikesha, which is he's master of curbing the sense ignorance. He has controlled his sleeping, curbed the modes of tamas, which is ignorance. So Sanjaya said that the controller of the senses spoke to the master of curbing ignorance, which means that soon Arjuna will come back. Arjuna will come back to intelligence. The one who controlled the senses will help Arjuna, who is anyway master of curbing ignorance, and so will come back to fight. So he's saying to Sanjaya, okay, don't get excited, because soon Krishna is going to take Arjuna out of ignorance, and he's going to think straight, and he's going to take them out. So don't get happy. And also he uses Govinda and Purna Tapaha. Govinda for Krishna. He uses the name Govinda for Krishna, the one who gives pleasure to the senses. And Parna Tapaha, the chastiser of the enemies. So this is Arjuna. He's the one who's so expert, he can take out anyone. He's using these amazing Sanskrit words and names to enlighten Sanjaya and us, because like how amazing is like Rishikesha. If you think about Rishikesha is the master of senses, like he can enlighten anyone, even if you are in tamas or ignorance. Then Krishna with one kick can just take that away from you. So yeah, that's the verse. But let's look at what Krishna has done right here. He's also amazing because he's recognized that in the middle of a battlefield where there's millions of people and he's about to fight, is the most precarious situation you can be in. And in the middle of the battlefield, he says to Krishna, enlighten me. I'm going to stop everything I'm doing, and I'm going to take a minute just to like think about what I'm going to do next. Who has the ability to, even in the middle of, like, let's say an argument or some precarious situation, who has the ability to just stop everything and say, okay, I'm going to just take a pause, take a step back and think about what this means, what repercussions are gonna, what's gonna happen if I go through with what I'm about to do. He has recognized that the thoughts that are coming into his mind are doubts, and didn't act whilst he was confused. He paused and he asked for help. And most of us don't know how to do that in any situation in life. We have to ask for help because, there's that saying, isn't it? No man is an island. We all need people, and the best person to be on your side when you're confused, you don't know what to do, is a spiritual person, which is, ultimately is Krishna. But we're all looking for spiritual guidance, because ultimately we can do what we like with material life, but all it's going to result in is, everyone comes without anything, everyone goes without anything. So you can have a spiritual master who's materialist and who can guide you in material life, but ultimately they're not going to be able to save you at the end of your life. Because when you're on your deathbed, it's not going to matter what type of car you drove, what kind of house you lived in, what you got for your GCSEs. What's going to matter is, how much did you learn about Krishna? How far did you get in your spiritual life? And ultimately, we want to make sure this is our last life. It might be high, but we've got to aim for the stars, right? So that's the ultimate goal of life. And then also Arjuna accepted that he won't be able to go any further without the wisdom from a spiritual master. He has put all his trust into Krishna and knows that his senses, mind and intellect can fail him, but Krishna will never let him down, because Krishna, as he sits in our heart as our guide, our guru, and he's been there since we came into the material world. So if we don't remember, he remembers. He knows exactly what you're like. He even knows what you're going to do next. So he's the only person that is equipped, who's able to guide us. And a lot of us practice spiritual life, but we might practice spiritual life with a lot of doubts. It's like an insurance policy, maybe, sometimes, like, let me just do this on the side, just in case if Krishna's real, and then I'll carry on doing what I'm doing, just in case. But when you put your full trust in Krishna and you realize that whatever he says has to be the right thing, so I'll only do that, then you realize that your consciousness is purified. I'm not saying I can do this, but I've realized this myself, that a lot of us practice spiritual life with doubts, and sometimes we take out insurance policies in different areas of life. Of course, insurance policies we have to take out, right? But I'm just saying, we have to trust Krishna that whatever he says is the right thing, and those doubts eventually have to go. Slowly but surely they have to go, because Krishna knows that you're practicing with doubts, that you're not fully putting your trust into him. And sometimes when you live with someone for so long, you realize, isn't it, that You realize all their habits. When they're doubting you, when they don't trust you, you realize husbands and wives are nodding right now. So yeah, Krishna's been with us for so long. He knows exactly what you're doing. But he's so kind that even if you are practicing with doubts, even if you do something small, you offer a flower, a leaf, he accepts it and he thinks, oh wow, he's trying, she's trying, he's trying, let me help him. So like that, he's very, very kind. Does anyone have any questions so far? Or anyone wants to add anything? No, that's fine, that's fine. What happens if you fully put your trust into Krishna? What do you think will happen? Anyone wants to guess? Well, you become free from the doubts that, when you doubt and you're constantly thinking, what if, you're kind of trapped in this, you can't actually do anything. You become paralyzed. So the first thing that happens is that you become free from fear, from this crazy monkey mind, and false lamentation. Like sometimes you become sad, you become upset because you think like nobody understands me, nobody cares about me, no one really loves me. Like nowadays it's so hard to get someone a present, right? Like what do you get somebody? Like it's just because everyone has everything, and sometimes people, what they just want is to be appreciated. And I think we've lost that because we get them, I don't know, maybe a phone, maybe something materialistic, jewelry or whatever. But how about like doing something nice for somebody, and they really appreciate, wow, someone did that for me, And yeah, so I'm just trying to explain that eternal, that happiness, that fulfillment, you'll only get from Krishna because he loves us unconditionally. He doesn't care how you look, what money you have, how much you offered him, what kind of present you got him. He just wants that love, like you offer something with love, like a flower or something that you've made, and he'll appreciate it so much. So you get that freedom, and you get that happiness that I've got somebody that loves me regardless of how many mistakes I make. I've got somebody who's always there, and they're not going to judge me. And then you also get attainment of perfect spiritual knowledge. The most perfect knowledge you can have is that you're a servant of God. That might sound quite lowly, that you're serving somebody, but we're all serving in our own ways. You go to work, you serve your boss. You look after your children, you're serving your children. And like this, this is all inherent in our nature. We're all supposed to serve somebody, but that's why we can't help it. In our relationships, we always end up serving somebody, but the ultimate person you want to serve is Krishna. And when you realize that, you think, wow, yeah, I am a servant, because there's no greater joy other than doing something for Krishna. And then you also restore your dharma, which is like your eternal duty, what your spiritual character is, which is to be a servant. And when you see that Krishna resides in the hearts of every living being, from insects, animals to humans, then you will have a relationship with everyone that's based on love. You won't, I'm not saying, again, this is not something I've managed to do, but when we can try, right? We can try to love everyone like that. Then there would be no wars in the world. There would be no hatred, because everyone understands that everyone's related. through Krishna. We have got 10 minutes left. I plan to finish off whatever I had. But has anybody else got any questions or want to add anything? No? Yeah. So when Arjun was, yeah. That's a good question. Anyone got any ideas? How should we practice spiritual life so that we get the doubts out of our mind and heart?
The answer is also like you surrender 100%. But that's also with the doubt.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I haven't really figured it out, but I have asked and I've heard this question before. So you have to carry on, even with doubts, right? We are told to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and we do that every day. But if I was chanting purely without doubts, then I would only need to chant once, and then I'll be like purified. So that shows me that I haven't got rid of my doubts. So even with doubts, you have to carry on, because eventually. So, you know, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is a science. You have to chant so there's 16 words in the Maha Mantra. You have to chant 16 rounds, right? And when you chant those 16 rounds, according to astrology, your house where Radha Krishna is sitting and they're accepting the Maha Mantra, they're accepting it, and they're getting rid of all of the bad things that you've accumulated over a lifetime. And you know, the grahas, the planets, they all act to kind of bewilder you. So at times, you know, when you don't understand something, it's because those planets are covering your intelligence. But when you chant the Maha Mantra, Krishna is clearing all those karma, all that karma. So slowly, like, you know, we hear these things every single day, right? So not every day, maybe every week, and it's the same thing. But sometimes you find that you've heard the same thing, but it's having a different effect on you, and you're hearing it you're understanding it in a different way. This is because your consciousness is slowly coming up. So in spiritual life, we're going slowly up like this. And that's because you're constantly practicing, you're constantly chanting, you're constantly hearing, you're purifying those things slowly, slowly, slowly. So we've just got to wait. You've got to carry on. You stay on the ambulance, and it will take you to the hospital where Krishna lives, and he's going to take care of us. So all you've got to do is just stay with the process. And what I mean by that is you've got to experiment. If you haven't chanted before, try today. Try taking the Maha Mantra and do it. You have to do something for at least 30 days to be able to tell if it's working, because but you have to immerse yourself. You do it once and then you think, oh, that didn't work. It's not going to work because you haven't given it enough time. Sometimes, you know, people, they try something and they're like quick. They're like, oh, it didn't work, so I'm going to try something else. I'm going to go to different mantras and try them all out. But no, you've got to stick to one thing and see, like, oh, is it working? And I'm not because we're in the Hare Krishna temple, but try it with the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. But try it for a longer period of time in the morning when it's called the golden hour, and just carry on. because 8.4 billion species of life. That's just 8.4 billion species of life, but we might have taken birth as animals, I don't know, 10, 15 times, or millions of times. Can you imagine all those accumulations of impressions? Or even human forms of life, right? How many times have we done this? Sometimes you get deja vu. You've done, like, it's like, oh, this has happened before. I get that sometimes. It's because it has happened before. And to be able to remove all the previous ways of thinking is like a deep impression. Like, you know, when you scrape something with a really hard surface and it goes in deep, we're trying to just rub it all off, make it smooth. So we have to carry on. And it will happen. It will happen. Because even for the short time that I've been practicing, I've realized that actually, when I look around, I'm able to understand how people think. Sometimes people think it's mind reading, but it's not. It's just the Bhagavad Gita, because, you know, you have amazing knowledge, like the different modes. Just that alone is so powerful. When you like practice spiritual life in the mode of goodness in the morning, when you're when you're vegetarian, because being a vegetarian has immense impact on your consciousness, because you're trying to be good. But I think this is all the time we have today. Sorry, yeah? Hare Krishna.
Just a quick one to answer.
Yeah, sure.
He has talked related to surrender, right? So when you surrender, how we can surrender without any doubt, right? If you answer that, I have a very small example. Here we have all the families and families with children. So for example, if you take the relationship with the father and the 3-year-old daughter. So when the father is playing with the daughter, so he just playfully lifts the daughter and throws into the air. But she smiles, she smiles and very confident that her daughter, like that's gonna,
Catch her, yeah.
So that's how the relation should be between us and Krishna. So like even if we fall down, we know that we're gonna fall on Krishna's path. He's gonna come and
Catch us, yeah.
So that's how the quality should be. Like when you think about surrendering, you shouldn't have any doubt. That's it. It's like that's why we lift the hands. That's what we are surrendering to Krishna. We have nothing.
That's why we put our hands up, yeah.
So Krishna, I'm here for you. We are surrendering for you. Take care of me. So and then he enters into your life. So that's the belief you have to get. So you start seeing all the leelas of Krishna once you do that. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, everyone. Now we're going to have the 7 o'clock Aarti. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
चलो मैं देता रहता हूँ